machine? You're crazy like a fox, aren't you? How are you socially constructed as a child? Interesting. Oh. Hello. Didn't see you there. You know what else is crazy like a fox? What is the gender of this little critter? I do not know.
For our sociological illustration, we have decided to analyze the little critter's book called Just Go to Bed by Mercer Mayer. The goal of our presentation is to show you the sex or the gender of the little critter by analyzing the numerous symbols found in this book and what they represent. Before we begin analyzing this book, we would like to note that our cultural viewpoint is coming from a Western perspective and may not apply in all societies.
The first symbol we see is written in the text, where the little critter says, "I am a cowboy." In the dictionary, a cowboy is defined as a man, typically one on horseback, who herds and tends cattle.
On the second page, here the dad is confirming his son's gender role by saying it's time for the cowboy to come in.
Okay, so we see here on this third page that the little critter is in his room playing a little game of Colonel Gaddafi, trying to, squash the rebel forces. And in this page, you can see a plethora of male symbols. And now it's quite obvious that you see a tank at the very start that he's holding and shooting. And then you see some soldiers, cannon, and there's a spaceship up top. All generally considered in Western culture, at least, male-dominated, male symbols. And then it's interesting also to note that him and his dad acknowledge him as a general. Okay, furthermore, you can see that it's common practice, at least in Western culture, that in hospitals the sexes are differentiated or separated at birth and bestowed upon them. Their generals are socially constructed by giving them blue for male and pink for female. And throughout this book, you can see that the little critter, either through his own wishes or through the wishes of his parents, have been given blue outfits throughout. First off, you can see that his cowboy costume, you see that he has blue pants. And then, if you were to flip a few pages later, you can see that as he's being put into the bath, he's wearing blue overalls. Another example. And then the final example you can see is his pajamas, where he eventually does go to bed, and he's wearing blue pajamas. Now, there's no pink in any of his situations, so obviously you can construe from this that he has actually been given the gender role of a male.
Here, we see 3 separate examples of games that the little critter plays. We have him playing superhero, train conductor, and race car driver. Now, in Western societies, these are often games that will be played by male children. It's not often that you will see a female child playing the role of train conductor, race car driver, or superhero. 1.
The mother and father are clearly dressed to their gender identities, as the mom is wearing a dress with an apron and the dad is wearing a dress shirt with a tie. These symbols that are seen on the parents strengthen the argument that what little critter is wearing, such as blue and no shirt, illustrates his gender. We cannot completely prove that this little critter is a boy or girl, but we have been able to clearly show which gender role he is playing, which is that of a boy. Gender is not the same thing as sex, as it is not determined by biology. Instead, it is something that is socially learned that happens very early on in life, and in the case of this little critter would have been already clearly established.
Well, that was compelling and rich. But it's odd that it was impressed upon me that this little critter was an androgynous critter, so it's being able to distinguish between male and female of what he actually was or she was impossible. But I can clearly see after reading this book that he's in fact just a silly little boy.